We're glad you're with us this evening. I'm Terry Brewer.
And I'm Lynn Brooks. So West Alabama's teenager's journey to a new life is getting attention around the world.
That's right. 18-year-old Brandy Sellers' home is in Guin, but tonight she is in Miami, Florida, waiting for a surgery she says could save her life. Now, it's a procedure she couldn't afford, but a South Florida surgeon is now making it possible. Reporter Luann Sorrell has the story from Miami.
My name is Brandy Sanders, and I am 18 years old.
It's a letter of desperation.
I'm in dire need of help.
A letter of despair.
I have a sincere desire and longing to look and feel like an average 18-year-old.
But this letter likely saved Brandy Sanders' life.
I went to my primary physician, and she said if I did not get something done within 2 years, I would die.
You see, Brandy is 5'3" and weighs close to 400 pounds. The teen from Alabama sending this letter out to about a dozen bariatric surgeons. But the only one who replied was Dr. Anthony Gonzalez from South Miami Hospital, who will be performing her weight loss surgery for free.
The sleeve gastrectomy is an operation where we take the stomach, which is about the size of half a gallon of milk, and we reduce it down to a very thin tubular structure like a thin banana. And that will restrict Brandy's intake and will help her lose weight over the next year to 2 years.
Brandy is set for surgery on Friday, and as you can imagine, she is very excited.
Well, I'm looking forward to being able to hang out with my friends and go places and go to college.
I think this is going to be a brand new beginning for, I think Friday will be her new birthday.
And while she'll likely start losing weight immediately after the surgery, hopefully she'll always keep her winning smile and positive attitude.
Don't give up hope. You never know what God has in store for you.
That was Luann Sorrell reporting. Dr. Gonzalez expects Brandy to lose 150 pounds within the next couple of years. Now, experts stress this type of surgery is a major procedure that requires life changes and should be considered very carefully.
Earlier today, WVUA spoke with Brandy and her mother, Angie, from Miami. Brandy said after she sent out her letters, it wasn't until 5 months later that she got a response. Her mother, Angie, says since then their lives have been like a whirlwind. When word spread around town, friends and family started donating money for their trip. Brandy said she was just hoping someone would read her letter and open their heart to help her. She said when she was told her life could be over in 2 years, it was devastating.
I was so upset. I just thought, man, I'm going to die in a couple of years, and I couldn't believe she had said that, and I was just in shock. I could not believe that somebody had responded to my letter and wanted to do this surgery on me for free. I was just so stunned.
I just want her to have a life. The last year of her life has just been unbelievable. She hasn't been able to do anything.
Brandy's surgery is set for 2 o'clock tomorrow. WVUA will bring you the latest on her recovery, and will also continue following her story.
Voters go to the polls in 5 days to decide if Tuscaloosa will have Sunday alcohol sales. Hundreds of new voters are making sure their voices will be heard. Chairman of the Tuscaloosa Board of Registrars, Kathy Vaselli, tells us within the last week, more than 1,000 new voters have registered. Vaselli says this is an unusually high number, even more than many local elections for city officials. Assistant City Clerk Deborah Clement says since the beginning of the month, more than 70 absentee ballots have been returned, and she expects more. Vaselli says she hopes this significant upswing in registered voters is a sign that the vote will be a true representation of what members of the community really want.
I'm hoping it's going to draw out a good percentage of the voters so that it will be, a significant endorsement or put down of something, that they feel deeply about.
Now, voters will have their say on Tuesday, February 22nd. Of course, you can count on WVUA, Alabama's home team, to bring you the latest on the night of the vote. We'll have live results updates throughout that evening.
New for you at 5 tonight, the details from Hale County on the drowning of a Tuscaloosa man. A spokesperson for the Hale County Sheriff's Office tells us the body of Michael John Schmidt was discovered by a diver around 7:20 last night in the Black Warrior River near Lock 8 in Akron. The Sheriff's Office says an autopsy is underway, but investigators do not believe foul play was involved. The Sheriff's Office says Schmidt was in the boat with his friend. The friend says he fell asleep, and when he woke up, Schmidt was missing.
Auburn police have made an arrest in connection with the poisoning of trees on Toomer's Corner. Police say 62-year-old Harvey Ulmer Updike Jr. of Dadeville is charged with criminal mischief. Auburn Police Chief Tommy Dawson said they learned early last month the 2 oak trees at Toomer's Corner were poisoned. A man claiming to be Al from Dadeville called a radio show last month claiming responsibility for the poisoning. Last night, police arrested Updike. Police are urging Auburn fans to let justice take its course.
I want to caution all our Auburn fans to act with the class that we always act with. This is not, this is the exception rather than the rule. This is a person who obviously has problems to do something like this. So really we want to use caution and let the justice system take its course.
Bond has been set at $50,000. If convicted, Updike could face up to 10 years in prison.
Governor Bentley has appointed a new person to be circuit judge in Tuscaloosa County. Bentley appointed Tuscaloosa attorney James Harold Jim Roberts Jr. to the position. Roberts replaces Chuck Malone, who was tapped to be Bentley's chief of staff. Roberts is president of the Tuscaloosa County Bar Association.
Now the latest on the Gulf oil disaster. A new report says BP had problems with work from its cement company long before the massive oil well explosion. That explosion last April killed 11 people and sent millions of oil pouring into the Gulf of Mexico. Investigators blamed cement failing at the bottom of the hole for that blowout. A presidential panel says BP knew about the company having problems but didn't do much about it.
Protests continue across the Middle East as thousands of demonstrators take to the streets. We start in Bahrain. Protesters say they have modeled themselves after demonstrators in Egypt. They're demanding jobs, housing, and government reform. Police have fired tear gas and rubber bullets at them. The country's largest opposition party in the parliament announced it is leaving the governing body. And in Yemen, activists have hit the streets for a 6th day in a row. Pro and anti-government demonstrators clashed in the capital city and other cities across the country. Some are demanding the fall of the regime. And in Iraq, protesters say they are fed up with corrupt officials in one Iraqi town. Some demonstrators forced their way into the governor's office and set it on fire. The UN Secretary General says the leaders should listen to the people.
Freedom of expression, freedom of assembly, and freedom of communication should be fully guaranteed. Those have been largely neglected in the region. That is the lesson which the leaders should learn and try to change as soon as possible, reflecting such strong voices from their own people.
Back here in the U.S., the Obama administration is alarmed over the violent crackdown on anti-government protesters in Bahrain. Officials are urging authorities to use restraint. That country is home to the U.S. Navy's 5th Fleet and a Middle East anchor of American defense strategy.